It's day 22 of the Diddy trial. We have a brand new cover-up courtesy of Maureen Comey and sanctioned by the court. I am Joe Neerman, aka Good Logic. I'm a New York litigator who's practiced in this very courthouse. I come to this trial every day because I want to break down for you how effective a job the state is doing in prosecuting the 5 charges that they've levied against Diddy, how well the defense is doing, and how the court is doing. I also try to present to you the vibe as to what is going on in the courtroom. And I'll tell you that the 2 things I picked up from this morning is the vibe is very definitively that it is unlikely that the state will be able to secure a conviction against Diddy with respect to the 3rd of the 5 charges, that of 18 U.S.C. 1591 sex trafficking Jane. And I'll break down for you why that is, and I also want to break down for you where we're seeing this cover up and how disturbing it is. So during the course of her testimony, and Jane has been on the stand for a week now. We're now 2 days into her cross-examination, and it's not a problem that Jane seems to be lacking credibility. Even people who believe what she's saying, and I happen to be one of them, I think that a lot of what she's saying seems true, although there are more inklings that are sort of drifting in now that some of her love may have been motivated by the lifestyle of being in this rapper world. And I'm drawing that because on cross-examination, she was asked that when she went on a trip to Paris with her girlfriends, and she was at that point on a break from Diddy, and she was in a fight with Diddy and distance from him, that she was asked, did you make a comment to when you were enjoying yourself in France, weren't you? Yeah. And you made a comment to one of your friends that all you need now is a Saudi prince? And she giggled and said, yes. And what the defense wants us to take from that is that this woman is a gold digger. Now, I want to be clear about something. Even if a woman is a gold digger, even if you draw that conclusion, which I know a lot of people who have commented on my videos believe she's certainly a gold digger, I don't know whether that's true or not. But let's accept for a moment that that premise that she's a gold digger. To me, and perhaps to many on the jury, that does not mean that she could not be trafficked. That doesn't preclude the possibility that she walked into this looking to be a gold digger, or if not for the money itself, but for the power and status of being a main player in this world. Even if that's her motivation, and even if she's willing to capitulate and degrade herself in certain ways in order to stay in there for certain periods of time, that doesn't mean that there aren't other times at a certain point where Diddy is forcing her to engage in these type of marathon sexual encounters at his direction with strangers, that she doesn't want to do it. The only reason she's doing it is to please Diddy, and perhaps in the early going, some of the encounters she's engaging in, we can properly deem her choice and not trafficking. Because if it's her choice, it cannot qualify under 18 U.S.C. 1591 as if she's trafficked. It's only if she's forced. And it's not just that she's forced, not that she subjectively feels forced, but in order for this to be established against Diddy, he has to have mens rea, he has to have intent, he has to know he's forcing this woman to do something that she does not want to do. So that's why, from my perspective, the financial leverage that he has over her, that he's paying her rent, if he feels like he's doing that, he's being nice to her, he's paying her rent, and she feels subjectively like that puts her at his discretion and control, I don't think that necessarily will rise to a level to say that he has mens rea, he has the intent to force her. Because he could just think this is what she wants to do in exchange for the money, like a hooker. Right? I mean, a hooker is not being trafficked because they're choosing to engage in it. So if that's what she's choosing to do, and she's sort of playing this hooker/girlfriend type of role, well, in that case, that's something people are allowed to prostitute themselves without the pimp necessarily being considered that they're sex trafficking. It only becomes sex trafficking once they are forcing the person to act against their will. And that's why, for me, the financial leverage that he had over her, or may have had over her, I don't think that it makes us cross into 18 U.S.C. 1591. But still, I think it's possible to get there. I think it's very fair to argue with Cassie that once he starts trying to blackmail her, which, if you believe Cassie, that he was threatening he's going to release videos of her freak-offs, and that he's going to share it with her mother and share it with the world. And she's even documenting that she's being threatened, and he's showing it on a plane. To me, this can draw a conclusion that he's intentionally trying to make her feel like she has no way out of this. And she said that she was expressing years earlier, how do you get out of this situation? If you can't get out of the situation, that's when, and he knows that he's not letting you out of the situation. That's where I think you cross over. Even if Cassie, let's say theoretically, started as a gold digger, she may have. A lot of people, I'm sure, believe that about her. I have no reason to think that's true. But even if that's 100% true, at a certain point, you can see how we can cross over between the blackmail and also the physical abuse that's been documented that he engaged in against Cassie, and documented and testified to. That all can help take someone who might start the relationship as a gold-digging girlfriend. Give me a moment. That they may start as some type of gold-digging girlfriend, but at a certain point, if they can't get out, and he knows I'm not letting you get out, in that case we can cross over into a zone where that gold-digging girlfriend is now being trafficked. They're being forced to act against their will. In contrast, what we hear from Jane is that Jane seems to, there's no incident where she's being blackmailed and said, do this or else, and you have to go engage in this type of sexual activity or else. We've never heard about an or else. The closest thing we've had to an or else is that she felt that if she did this, and at one point he's like, okay, if you don't want to be my girlfriend, I'm going to stop paying your rent. If you want to claim that falls up, that rises to a level of control, okay. I'll tell you right now, very few people in the viewing room I'm in think that this is a situation where indeed she was trafficked. In fact, we actually see multiple instances where Jane is using the ability to dangle this carrot in front of Diddy in order to help draw him in closer. We saw on Valentine's Day that she's like, I got a special thing for you. I'll perform for you with 2 guys. That's her using it as a carrot, saying, don't go with one of your other girlfriends, hang out with me on Valentine's Day. She testified today, and then she reaffirmed what she had said on Direct, which is that he did this beautiful romantic birthday for her in 2024. And it made her feel so happy and so thrilled. This is after they reconciled and got back together. That she felt so happy that, you know, they had this birthday party through the night. It was so romantic, everything she always wanted, and she felt that Diddy deserved a hotel night. So they called up Don and she performed with Don. To me, this comes across as if she's using it as a way of rewarding him. That means that she seems to have control and decision-making power here. And if she has that control and decision-making power, we don't need to sit there analyzing, did she start off as a gold digger? Was she not a gold digger? At the end of the day, she has power. She's not being trafficked. That makes her very different from your typical victim of being trafficked. But I need to get to the point here where I want to talk about the government cover-up, which was gross and disturbing. And I'm going to, because they worked so hard to cover it up, I'm going to speculate as to what it was that they were trying to cover up. When they were talking about the break that they had, which went from like sometime in late November or, through the end of the year and into January of 2024, she testified that at a certain point in January, she got an invitation from a rapper to go on a trip to Las Vegas. So she's like, cool, let's go. He said you can bring a couple of your friends. I'm pretty sure she took a couple of friends with her. I'm not positive about that part. But she decided, okay, I'm going to go. When she goes there, she bumps into Anton. Now, Anton is one of the performers or entertainers who she had engaged with on multiple occasions with Diddy. So she knew Anton through that. When she bumps into him at this party, and this party, which is in January of 2024, was being thrown by this rapper for his wife or girlfriend, and they kept referring to her as wife or girlfriend. Now they sort of like glom past that whole part of it And it was only on cross-examination today that it became evident just how hard the state and the court, and even the defense seems to be going along with it, how hard everyone in this courtroom is working to make sure that we never find out who this rapper is. What they did was they showed a video of the rapper at the party that she was at, and they said, we're going to mute the sound here so that no one can hear the sound. And when she's questioning Jane, she says, so this is a rapper, right? And he's a friend of Jay-Z, right? Yes. And he's not just a rapper, he's one of the biggest names in the industry, isn't he? Yes. He's a cultural icon, isn't he? Yes. And this was a party he was making for his wife/girlfriend. Yes. And then after they went from the party, they go up to this rapper's room, and she follows up to the room. And in the room, she sees Anton performing with a woman. They don't tell us which woman it is. And what's everyone in the audience doing there? Oh, they're all standing around watching this couple engaging in sex. So that's what she and this rapper and this rapper's wife/girlfriend were watching Anton perform. They never told us who the woman was that was performing. I don't know if that's our business. I have no reason to speculate as to who in particular it was. However, what I'll be clear with you about is this. They definitely didn't want us to know who the rapper was. And furthermore, she said that she ended up referring, this is what she shared with us on Cross today, that she ended up sharing the name Cabral. Now, Cabral is another entertainer performer. And she said that she told them about Cabral when they were asking her if she knew anyone else in the lifestyle being a reference to this explicit sexual activity. So now we have this rapper who's basically asking her, hey, you know any other performers who would be really good to enjoy for us to hire to bring on in here? So she offered the name Cabral. Tenny Garagos asks Jane, why did they ask you? What made them ask you? That think that you would know someone? You know, the whole time we're hearing about how secret this is. So she said, well, maybe I seemed comfortable with what was happening there, or maybe it's possible that they know a little bit about what Diddy is into. So this is someone who's close enough with Diddy that they know what he's into, and they figure that she would be able to perform something. By the way, something else she mentioned, which the defense brought out to help take away some of the shine and veneer of refinery around Jane, is that they had her admit that she flashed the audience at one point there. Like said she was just having a good time, so she decided to flash the audience. And perhaps that's what led them to believe that she was very comfortable with the situation. I don't know. She hasn't testified to that causal link specifically. But the interesting thing is here, when they're talking about this, it was very obvious that there was a paramount objective that they do not possibly let the jury, anyone outside the jury, know who this rapper was. And it was so contorted. They're bending over backwards, making sure we can't even hear the guy's voice because they're worried that people in the audience will recognize his voice. So they turned off all the volume. They said, we're just going to show you a video of you and this rapper at the party and just confirm that this is this guy. Also that this rapper flirted with her and there's other stuff. Bottom line is this. The way they were bending over so hard to protect them, my first thought was, they're referring to him as an icon in the industry. My first thought, I was speculating, is that it was Jay-Z. However, that doesn't fit with the information we have. The reason it doesn't fit with the information we have is because the birthday party they were going to celebrate was for the rapper's wife/girlfriend, wife and or girlfriend, and it's not clear whether they were using the term wife or girlfriend because this is a woman who takes both roles, or because they're trying to keep it that veiled that we shouldn't know whether or not this rapper is married. But I checked up as to when Beyonce's birthday is, and her birthday is in September. So even though I thought that Jay-Z would fit as far as being the potential answer to whom this may be, it doesn't work when you know that she's there for the rapper's the rapper's wife-girlfriend's birthday in January. And when I was having this conversation with other journalists who were all trying to speculate about this, someone pointed out that Kanye is good friends with Diddy, and that his wife/girlfriend, I'm not sure what status she has, I think that status might change back and forth, I'm not sure, but that that her birthday is January 5th. So I don't know who the rapper is. I have no idea. I'm just telling, other than the clues that we've gotten so far. So anyone who's saying they know definitively is probably exaggerating. I would surmise. But I'm saying is this is the reason that had people in the audience here who are all speculating, and this is not a factual assertion at all. This is purely opinion and speculation based on what we have. But it's very bothersome that the state worked so hard to make sure we shouldn't know who this person is. Like, what is the point? It's supposed to be open court. And the court seems to go along with this. The court seems to be accepting of this and saying, oh yeah, it's sure for you to do this. And compelling, seemingly, the defense to make sure that they don't give any clues that would provide insight as to who this rapper is. What is the reason for this? Why is this being hidden from us? The court is supposed to be a matter of public record, and it's very, very bothersome to see that the state, and in particular this district attorney, who has been accused and has revealed indications that they bend over backwards to protect celebrities and politicians and other folks like that, yet again is engaging in conduct which just makes you scratch your head as to why is it that this is information that has to be shrouded in secrecy from the public writ large. There's nothing embarrassing about what's happening here. There's nothing illegal. There's no, so we're forced to speculate now, and I feel bad speculating, but I have to tell you what the talk around the courtroom is in order to give you a vibe for this trial is going. The final point I'll make here is the vibe is that the chances of getting a conviction based on what we've heard from Jane are very slim. I struggle to find anyone here who thinks that she's properly classified as being trafficked. And if that's the vibe that I'm getting from the non-jurors, the limited audience who's watching this, I have to think that many people in the jury are reaching similar conclusions, and that the state is going to struggle to actually get a conviction on that third charge under 18 U.S.C. 1591 for trafficking Jane. I'm Joe Neerman, aka Good Logic. If you like this type of content, please like, share, subscribe, and make sure you hit the bell for all notifications. Till next time, Godspeed.